Daria, could you check if you have some questions in the chat?
In Steam and Twitch, no.
Okay, and YouTube, I'm still struggling with this as usual, but I think that this time it came out to be solved really fast one because it's already running. The only thing I need to do is to update the description, and I need to make it visible for everyone. All right, where is that? It's here. Okay. Okay. So, Daria, could you check the YouTube? The video must be running there smoothly.
I can see.
Okay.
It's working.
Screen.
It's working.
working.
Yeah,
It's
it's
fine.
working.
It's fine. It's fine. All right. Pasha, and could you tell us why you got interested in Beast Tower? I mean, maybe what other games? Well, I believe we already discussed this topic, but not in English, of course. But maybe do you have some other interests apart from asymmetric games which you like to play in PvP?
To be honest, actually, it's not my type of game, and especially I not really like a style of horror. But yeah, but it's quite interesting because of a lot of mechanics you did in a game. So it's not just symmetric PvP that I prefer play, like DPT or Depth or Nosgoth, as you know this game.
You've
Nosgoth.
played Nosgoth?
Yeah.
Nosgoth, yeah, it was while
Yeah,
in the
that was a
past.
great game, honestly, and I really regret that it was closed.
But probably it's not asymmetric PvP, but its style, it looks close what you want to do, as I understand.
Well, Nosgoth is actually an asymmetric PvP because you have two different teams with
Yeah,
different opportunities. That's why anytime that you have, you know, to some extent, really different play styles and have, but in our case, the asymmetry even pushed more because you don't have also not only different play styles, but you also have different goals. So raiders, they try to escape, while beasts try to kill everybody in the haunted city. That's why it's a kind of a more symmetry. But still, Nosgoth, from my point of view, really a symmetric PvP game because vampires and hunters, they really differ because hunters can shoot and vampires can climb buildings. To some extent, yes, this idea that raiders are ranged fighters and beasts are melee, but has more mobility due to that. Yes, that was taken from Nosgoth. But you see, when I see Nosgoth, I always just thinking why I can't climb there as a hunter. Because you know,
yeah.
I'm so used to the fact that you can climb buildings as a raider. That's why for me, okay, why I can do this? Then okay, that's different game, right?
Yeah, probably they try to balance it somehow.
Well, you see, the whole idea of PvP combat, PvP team-based combat is Nosgoth was based on the idea that you see humans, they occupy some space, and vampires get on rooftops unnoticed and then jump to them as a kind of assault, which humans need to fight back. And that's the whole game, which is based on that humans stick together, they occupy some nice space where they can feel safe, and vampires go there and try to attack them. Because as soon as humans start running one by one, they easily get killed by vampires, because if vampire goes on close quarters, well, usually they just leave no chance to a human player.
Do you like the style horror? It was so was the point yeah to do like in a horror style, yeah, not in like something more coward.
Well, you see, Beastao is a kind of a mixture of many ideas and several genres. So we really wanted the game to feel as a horror because you feel chased by a being that's far powerful than you are, but still you have the opportunity to fight back if you are ready to, deal with your fear. That was a kind of idea behind all this thing. That's why, yeah, we wanted it looked really scary and work to give this kind of a stress that something is after you and you need to run away, and that keeps your heart beating and your pulse pumping, and that's why it brings you these cool emotions. That's the idea.
And about dictator voice, it is a professional actor. It's really massive voice and sounds so nice.
Yes, this dude, he is not a kind of he's not famous. He is just quite he doesn't like to be he's not a public person, but he's a real good voice actor. He does really good acting, and also he can act in several languages, which is really cool of him. That's why when we first started thinking about choosing the voice for the game, the skipper who announces what's going on, we started looking through dictators' portfolios on different websites with our sound director. And we came across this dude and we thought, whoa, he's so cool. That's why we even, well, okay, maybe we should write to him, but we thought that he's too cool for us, and maybe it's not a good idea to just drop him a line. And when we published our message that we are looking for a voice actor, he was among the first people who just answered this, and he just turned out to be a really nice guy, and just really made us a good discount on his services. That's why, yeah, that's why, and he turned out to be a big fan of Northgard, and he turned out to be just liked our game very much. He started playing with us in team playtests, and he was saying that, "Whoa, that's the game I always wanted to play. I really like it."
Yeah, in my opinion, atmosphere of a game, it's like a 20 or 30% is a sound. If you want to make a horror game, sounds really important. So
yeah, well, for if you want to get some impression to transfer it to your players, well, there are almost everything is important, but sound, yeah, that's a kind of really powerful tool which can create. For example, when the beast is near, raiders hear a special, sound of beating, something like, somebody is beating these instruments, and you hear this like, pumping blood or something like that. And when you have very little HP in beast hour, from time to time you hear actual heartbeat sound, which gives you the note that you are likely to die if you get attacked.
nice.
And someone joined us. Hello.
Guys.
Hi, nice to meet you. What's your name?
My name is Vova. I'm sound designer at Beast Tower.
Well, nice joining you. I even was so surprised that I didn't expect you to join. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I just watched your stream and saw that you're talking about sound in Beast Tower. So
You
I
decided
came to join.
I'm not sure. You were in charge of making the sound of heart beating?
I think Artem was in charge of that. Yeah, I came later in the development.
Well, one of the coolest things which Vova done for Beast Tower. So in the Green District, there is an abundant windmill, and we wanted to create this feeling when you enter this small area in this huge district, and you hear this strange sound of old and just nearly broken windmill, which makes you scaring because something is just wrong with that. You are feeling that something is scary about, and each time I ran past it and hear this, how this wheel, not wheel, but this top thing is turning with these wings, and it just, oh my god, it always chills.
Yeah, thank you. It sounds really surreal and creepy.
Yeah, so
And
it was really well done, really well done.
yeah, that also was one of my first things that I've done in terms of sound design. I enjoyed it very much too.
All right. Okay, guys. So I think that I should talk a bit about our recent playtest, which was organized on the 7th of August. You know, guys, that it wasn't running too smoothly. I would say that we had a problem at the beginning, that we had to delay the start because unfortunately there was server problem and we had to relaunch it, and it took some time. And I really was, thinking that we need to postpone it for the whole hour, but our dev team just did a very great job of starting the server even faster than promised, because just after 20 minutes of the playtest start, we started getting messages in Discord that people are already playing and everything is working fine. And it was really cool that, it was stressing, it was, nervous, because, a lot of things were prepared and just something misworked. But the team did such an amazing job of, fixing everything quickly. That's why it was just amazing how well it was done, and the community really gave us the support of patiently waiting and not leaving the game and starting playing. That's why it was just really, really awesome. We liked it so much. So thank you again, guys, for your support. And just keep joining our voice chat. We'll be happy to talk to you and answer your questions just on the go, and be part of our stream.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I have a question. Have you announced this Q&A Q&A stream? Because I just saw it on the Discord and I haven't seen any signs
Yes,
of.
we do announce it in advance. I believe we had the announcement of this
In
Monday.
Twitter.
Oh. Okay, cool.
Yeah, usually we do announce everything in advance. That's why I believe we
On Wednesday.
on Wednesday, right? Yeah, we did just announce things a couple of days before. Then we announced it several hours before the start, and then we drop the post exactly at the time when the stream is starting, so people can 100% see it. So if you want just to make sure that you follow all the events which take place in the Bestower community, just subscribe to any social media you like, and you'll get the notification ahead of the event. The same thing we do with the playtests. We announce them around the week before the start, so people can just arrange their schedule to be online when the service is actually working.
Nice. Are you playing right now, or is it a recording?
No, we're not playing because the servers are off, and that's why I could, of course, launch the game, but I will be running alone, just as a lone wolf or lone raider.
Okay.
But it's not really fun to watch. That's why it's a pre-recorded gameplay done by our QA team, who are really, really good at playing the game. So even you are playing as a beast against them, you usually get killed quickly.
That's true. I've experienced that.
Yeah. So, Vovan, could you just tell a bit to our players who are watching us right now, what, from your point of view, is particular about sound design in Beast Tower?
Well, do you mean in terms of inspiration or direction where we're heading?
I think all the things which you just mentioned.
Okay, so as you mentioned previously, the game Nosgoth, games such as Nosgoth or just other dark, creepy games are a big inspiration to us. I mean, Dark Souls, new game which came out, Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodlines, I get inspiration from that. Also, old creepy movies, horror films, and all things like that. We are trying to make it. I mean, it should give players the direction, the understanding of what's happening in the game, but also create a scary atmosphere, so you can just dive deep into the game and immerse in it.
So, and when I am thinking about sound in Peace Tower, of course, I am not a musician, I'm not a composer, but I am more dedicated to things like, you know, the gameplay needs, so that with the sound design, when people hear something, they understand what's going on, so they know how the movement of beast sounds, how the movement on Raider sounds, if the beast, for example, is charging the huge leap, that he rolls differently, and if you
Yeah.
know this, you just understand that okay, the beast is preparing the roll or the jump, or Zealous is charging the powerful shot. It's a separate sound, and for me it's one of the most important things in terms of okay, we just lost Daria, I think.
Oh,
I'm here.
We just you know, something happened with your webcam. Okay, yeah, I
Yes.
repeated. Because you know, before I also remember that we were discussing in terms of UI design that we should be using as a reference Diablo 2, right?
yeah.
I just
That's
remember.
true.
I remember. Diablo 2 was one of the greatest game in my childhood, and I really remember all the sounds which were done there. I mean, the sound of picking up a bottle, of using the potion, of how you put some jacket or some spear in your inventory, because they had all the separate sounds and they sounded so cool that you just, oh my God, just by sound I understand what I just done. It was just amazing how well it was done.
Yes, Diablo is a masterpiece in terms of sound, and we dig inspiration from it too. I mean, UI in Beast Tower sounds like steampunky, I think is the right word to describe it. It's like technological, but a bit rusty. And to be honest, I don't know if I can speak of on what we are planning to invent in the game. Can I do it now?
I mean, if you want to talk about some new characters, I think it's not right time to do it.
No, not about characters, but about different sounds on different levels of abilities.
I think it's a bit early to talk about that because we are
Okay.
just working on the system and haven't yet tested it out nicely. And if
Yeah.
we have, you know, some kind of a risk of not using something, I would rather just keep silence about it before we are 100% sure that it would be added into the game and people would be
Okay.
getting the thing.
Understood. But I mean, yeah, we are working on giving the players maximum understanding of what's happening in the game, and sound should and can help in a great amounts to do that.
Yes, because you know, I just for a very long time we were playing the game without no sound at all, and when just piece by piece sound would be added to different abilities, moves, just running a person or person picking up something. Well, at some point it just started to being so big part of the game that if you just turn off all the sound, it just looks really black and white, as if you just
Yeah.
lost one dimension of the game. That's why, you know, I'm so happy that we started thinking about the sound really ahead before we even were having a working prototype, because otherwise we were likely to get into this problem of many games who, when people leave the sound design for the very end of the development, and that's why it just usually is not done properly because just sound designers and composers don't have enough time to do everything as it should be. Because sometimes you test, understand that it should be done in a different way. And if you don't have this time for choosing things, for trying things, it's so hard to hit the bullseye with the first shot.
True. Yeah. Yes, that was a brilliant decision. And I mean, when I came here, the sound was already great. Artyom did a great job on ability sounds, on just footsteps, jumps, ropes, portals, everything. But it keeps getting better and better, and I think we have a long way ahead, but in the end we will come to great results.
Well, yeah, and also there is one thing which I believe I can talk about already because, we always talk people about that. We always get really positive feedback about the voice of the haunted city, this announcer who tells what's going on. That's why we want to increase the range of phrases which this guy can tell, and we believe it would just give another layer of coolness into the game because we want this announcer to feel like a separate character who is watching you playing and enjoying this hide and seek survival games and just making fun of you and just enjoying in some even maybe a cruel way what's going on. So that's why I would really like if we could extend this system of his behavior. So we add more phrases, more things, and so on and so after. So just to make it really feel a bit of paranoid that sometimes you hear this voice and you just can't understand if you really hear it or just a kind of a play of your imagination. That would be, I believe, really cool, and it's a big part of, both working with the actor and both working with sound design to get this feeling. Because, believe me or not, and Wova can tell tons about it, that even is the greatest dictator, the greatest actor in the world, records some phrases for the game, they always get edited, they always get worked on and just fixed and somehow better made by the sound design team, right? Because
that's true.
You can't use the raw voice.
That's pretty true. Voice gets processed heavily before getting into the game. It gets equalized, compressed. I mean, we reduce the S sound usually because everything should sound very smooth and really perfect. So yeah, I think that's a pretty cool idea to add more phrases into the game, like you're being watched by some mastermind behind all this.
That's a really good, identification of this guy as a mastermind. That's why you just feel that it's a kind of absolute power in this cursed place, and you can do nothing with that. And the only way to save yourself is to get from here as fast as possible.
Yeah. That reminds me of a game more Utopia, where in the final it turns out that it's all like a big spectacle and you are just one of the puppets.
Well, yeah, More is a kind of a really, unique game. Honestly speaking, I just can't understand what's it about and what you should be doing. I tried to watch some walkthroughs just to get the idea whenever I want to play it or not, but it's not really my style, but still I understand that it's a really great thing, although it's not for everyone, as I would say.
Yeah, that's true. Artyom just told me to watch the interviews with the guy who is the head of the studio which made More Utopia, and all other his projects are just like that. They're not for the masses. He's like not working to please as much people as he can, unlike compared to other mainstream game development studios. But his projects are like very very unique in that term because he's doing what he likes basically.
Well, yeah, it's a kind of maybe to some extent it's a kind of a way which we chose for Beast Tower ourselves. I
Yeah.
mean, because you know, the problem is that you either do something which is already presented on the market, or but in this case, you should do it far better or far more interested than the original version, which was already there and has the audience. Or you do something as unique as possible, as you can imagine, as you can offer, because in this case you just give people a new taste and a new experience which they should be coming for. So in our case, we decided that Beast Tower would be the unique experience, and that's why, of course, it's not an easy thing to do it, a unique material, a unique product, because when you do something unique, it means that nobody did it at least 100% the same one, and actually you can't just copy something, and you have to check everything yourself, to try everything yourself, and decide everything yourself. And at some
Yeah.
points you even get to the situation when you just don't know how to make it work, and the only way you can do is to experiment and to try to find at least some references. And experimented, of course, is a kind of a tough thing, because if you do something, it doesn't work for the first time, for the second time, for the third time. But the only way to succeed is just to push yourself to keep on trying, and then you will succeed. That's the only way. Daria, could you check if we have any questions or in Twitch or YouTube?
Unfortunately, no, we don't have.
Okay, but we have people to talk to in the voice chat, hopefully.
Yeah.
Pasha, are you here?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
here.
So, and what is your attitude towards sound, towards music in games? Does it means much to you, and especially in PvP projects?
I mean, in the game session, music is. I mean, it's not really need to be more need to be sounds probably because I don't. If I'm playing, I'm in a game, so I'm not listening music. I just listen some sounds that can help me, as you say before, when you pick something, when you run, when you sprint, something like that. So about sound, but in main menu, for example, and for lore, it's very interesting to have some music. Interesting. For example, I have, if you know, some card game Gremlins from also not big studio, and they got so good music in the main menu. So it's really, very nice to just to open a game and just to listen. It they have several some playlists. It's really nice to listen it.
Yeah, it was a really cool example when we were running, I believe, our first open play test. And the one blogger, he was streaming Beast Tower, and he was staying in the lobby and waiting for the game and was just chatting with his audience. And then he said, "Whoa, this is really nice music. I should switch off mine and we'll just use it as a background for our talk." It was, I believe, really, really cool, because I myself was finding references and discussing with our composer how this should sound, what it should remind, and that's why I was really happy that our work was appreciated.
Yeah. Who composed it, by the way?
Artyom was in charge.
Damn. He's cool.
Yeah, so we have two music themes currently. One you can even, guys, listen right now. So just go to the Steam, download the demo. Of course, you won't be able to enter the games as servers are off now, but you can listen to the music in lobby. It's the main theme of the game. And another version of the main theme is used for the character selection screen. So if you find some recording of our playtests in the web, you can listen to that when people are waiting for everyone just already on the character selection screen to choose their characters and to enter the game. When we were developing the theme, we were thinking much about such music like the Dark Knight Rising, like Prince of Persia, Warrior Within, you know, some kind of mixture of metal, some mixture of classic music, and maybe even some part of the disco. And that's why it's got into this crazy mixture, which turned out to be really cool. Although we just made so many iterations, I believe we made 18 iterations before we got satisfied with main theme music.
That's insane. Do you think we should have this one signature piece of music, or we should add more music to rotate in the main menu or
Well,
somewhere else?
honestly speaking, I think it's not just maybe truly our choice, but it's a part of a marketing. For example, I would tell about League of Legends. They have a kind of a main theme for the game, but when they announce a new character, they put this dude on the login screen, where usually the main music plays, if I'm not mistaken. And they write a separate music theme for every new character who get announced. That's a kind of, you know, a big event, and that's why they support it in so many ways. And so they even compose a theme, a separate theme for every new character. That's crazy, honestly.
That's pretty crazy. I just discovered that days ago, and I've been listening to various champions themes. What's your favorite, by the way, if you have one?
You see, I would need to say that I haven't played League of Legends for maybe over a year and a half already. But among the music which I really liked and which I even saved to my playlist was, you know, they had the funny thing is that sometimes they even make music for new skins of characters. And in League of Legends, there is Tristana, you know, this little girl with a big gun.
Yeah.
And they made a skin for her for a Chinese New Year, for Lunar, when she is, you know, running around, and instead of a gun, she uses a little dragon.
Wow.
And the skin is called Dragon Trainer Tristana. And it has so cool music, that's why I just added it into my playlist. Or I even found some cool cover when some girl on YouTube, and she is a professional violinist, she's just insanely good, and she just played this theme on her violin. Of course, not only on the violin, but the support of other instruments. But she was just adding the main theme with the violin. It was so cool, and that's why I really liked it. Another
insane.
topic which I can't say that I really liked, I mean theme, but it was done so amazingly well according to the character's character. You mean his image, his attitude was Tom Kench, you know, this monster fish.
Yeah.
This music is really heavy, is really scary, and I can't listen it for a long time, but it was just hitting the idea of the character 100%. I think that Darius wants to tell us something important.
Yeah, I'm trying to say that we have a new person in our voice chat.
Whoa, nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hi,
What's your name?
my name is Ilya.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I was just wondering, like, I noticed two groups of text chats, text channels, Russian and English, and I was wondering how many of you are Russian in the team.
You see, I never counted, honestly speaking, because we have, you know, we're indie team, and different people have different schedule and helping out at different time. But I need to say that we are really multicultural and multinational. That's why we have people in team who just even don't know Russian at all. We use as a communication English only. So it's hard for me to say. I honestly speaking never
How
counted.
big is your team then?
Then I would say that we have around 15 guys who are working on the game on plus minus regular basis. I mean, every week they produce new content, they fix bugs, they work on social media and so on and so after. And we have another, I would say, 15 guys who are helping out from time to time with some exact tasks like helping with a website or maybe helping with making some video, something like that.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so I would say that through these years we built a very dedicated and just quite well, maybe according to the indie size team, and that's why I'm really happy that so many cool and dedicated guys who really like what we're doing are together in one place.
That's wonderful.
And how did you manage to learn about Beast Tower?
My friend told me about this old game, and we tried to find it. I can't remember the name.
Nazgûl.
Nosgoth.
Yes, that one. And eventually we found a Reddit subreddit of this game, and I learned about this game.
Mhm.
So I decided to join.
And have
That's pretty much
you
it.
did you manage to take part in any of our open play tests which happened last couple of months?
No, sadly, the work is too. Uh, well, I can't because of the work.
And
That's
what's
pretty
your
much it.
profession?
Currently, I work at a food truck since I don't have an education yet.
So you're a
But
student.
yes, I will be a student this year.
Whoa, so you just graduated from school.
Yeah,
And what would be your university? What would you be studying?
computer science and all that stuff.
So you're gonna be the programmer, the software developer.
Yeah,
Then after you graduate, come to work with us.
sure. If the game will still will be in the development, I would love to join.
Well, honestly speaking, Ilya, I need to tell you the truth. After the PvP or multiplayer game, which is actually a game service, get released, that's the time when actual development starts. That's why don't worry. These games, like League of Legends, like PUBG, like any huge PvP game on the market, and even not huge game, it being developing all the time. You can call it alpha, you can call it beta, you can call it release, but you always need to fix bugs, to add new features, and keep on going, and adding new content. That's
Yeah,
how
and
it works.
balancing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
do you
get it.
already work or maybe learn something on programming, or you just about to start?
Well, I have like a bunch of experience with different languages, Python, C sharp, what else? GD script, since I'm trying to make my game on Godot. Also HTML, CSS, and a bit of JavaScript.
Whoa, you already had a stack of technologies in your portfolio.
Yeah, not really. Like, I did a few apps for the Windows, for desktop apps, and a few of the websites, but they're not that good to show off and say how cool I am.
You know this famous quote of Muhammad Ali, the greatest boxer of all the time. I'll show you how great I am. You see, and why you were looking for Nosgood? Because this game was shut down in 2016, and only very dedicated people who like the actual universe of Legacy of Kain know about it, or just people who came across the game so many years ago and still admire it and keep communicating with folks about that. So why did you decided to look for it?
Well, my friend told me about it, as I said earlier, and he said that he played the Nosgoth like a few years ago before it got shut down. And then I tried to search, maybe someone is running like a dedicated server or something like that, because that's usually how it happens with big projects with big following. And sadly, there are none, I guess.
Mm. And that's why, well, because you know, we are keeping good relationships with fans of Nazgûl who just have the Discord server and they are really interested in Beast Tower. That's why we know about it. And also, I myself, at school and university, I just played some old games of the franchise, like Legacy of Kain Soul River. Legacy of Kain Soul River 2 and Legacy of Kain Soul River Defiance, if I'm not mistaken. That was the name of the very last game I tried. And that's why I knew about Nazgûl, because it was a kind of a next part of the franchise, but totally PvP multiplayer one. And yeah, when we were developing Beast Tower, we watched Nosgoth on YouTube in order to understand how things are working out and trying to use the ideas. Fortunately, there are quite lots of material, and some guys, they did really good tutorials describing in detail how all the mechanics of the characters work, because, you know, it's hard to find the proper ref for us or for the game which is played completely free from the third person view and is not just exactly a common shooter and has different abilities for different characters. That's the thing which we really liked about Nazgûl when we decided to use it. And somehow people usually compare us with this game because we share the same atmosphere, the same maybe setting to some extent. But although from my point of view, we are quite different because, you know, we dedicate more to the First World War and the Victorian Age. And, you know, Nazgûl is more about dark fantasy, you know, all this body is covered with some leather, with some masks, some helmets, some iron, and some other things which are a bit tough for real world, I would say.
Yeah, from what I've seen, the style you're going with is really good.
Thanks. Okay, so I think that okay, yeah, because you know, when we had this question just several times, but I believe it's the first time you are watching our QA stream and just taking part in it, honestly. That's why, you know, we decided that we want to try to make it a kind of a not just copy World War One, but to use this as a basis, as an idea bank, within which we filled with designs from games like Bloodborne, like Order 1886, or some science fiction books by Jules Verne and Herbert Welsh. You know, like the story of a submarine or a Frankenstein monster or all other stuff which is similar to that. Also, we really liked the movies like Underworld and Van Helsing. That also gave us the inspiration for things like bringing lots of blood, some darkness, and cruel monsters.
Yeah, taking the inspiration from different sources is really good.
So,
Anton,
yeah,
can you tell me how it all started? I mean, how the idea of Beast Tower came into your mind and how you started implementing it, because
well,
I don't know.
well, I thought, you see, I answered this question so many times, but each time I get asked, it's just a great pleasure to answer that because it's so, you know, close to my heart, and it's just very touching story because, you see, whenever you create something and you want to make it personal, it's usually based on your personal experience and your personal emotions. And at university, I was practicing parkour. It was a kind of my sport. Unfortunately, I got some injuries which just made me stop the training. But I just learned quite things about that, about this discipline, about the movements and so on and so after. Also, I'm a big fan of wolves and werewolves. That's why when we decided to develop a game, the idea came to me pretty quickly that we need to you see this idea of nimble ninja-looking tracers, I mean professional parkour sportsmen, who are running away from werewolves. Also, one of my favorite games is Prince of Persia: Warrior Within. This part where Prince is running away from this huge monster, the Haka, which is a kind of inevitable force of nature he can do nothing about. And this idea of a nimble guy running away from a powerful, unstoppable monster just turned into to be, okay, let's parkour from werewolves in a castle. And this simple description in one sentence got people excited. That's why we started developing this idea and making prototypes and moving on and more, and just came to what we have having right now.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's so crazy that one quick thought which came to me one morning turned out into what we have right now, that it's just crazy what's the power of mind actually is capable of.
Yeah, the power of mind is truly unreasonably high. I have this project that I'm working on, and it's basically just based off my dream that I had. And it got so far away that I'm developing the dedicated language and numbering system for this project.
So it's a kind of your own game,
Yes.
and could you just tell a bit about that?
So in the future, this telescope that was launched a few months ago by NASA, James Webb.
Well, honestly
Yeah.
speaking, I'm ashamed, but I'm not big fan of space and space traveling. Although I understand that it's a very important part into the development of the humankind and bringing in new knowledge, bringing new technologies, and just if not for the space program in USA and in Soviet Union and this race of space programs, we would never have cell phones and supercomputers. That's why it's important thing. But I haven't heard, but I don't keep an eye on this situation. So if you tell me a bit about this thing, I would appreciate.
Yeah, sure. So in short, this telescope is focused on finding and exploring the exoplanets. Exoplanets are the type of planets that is similar to Earth. So they are the potential home for different life forms. And just in theory, soon enough, we can hear the news about aliens on the other planet.
So,
Um,
and how this machine is capable of just understanding if there is or not life on some star which is just thousands of years away from us?
I'll be honest with you, I have no idea. Well, it is a space telescope, so it is in space.
They use spectre. If you, for example, radiate a beam lighting, it's James Webb work on infrared beams. So
Okay, let me
and
go really geeky and explain it in common terms. So it has the predator view.
Kind of like that, yes.
Yeah.
So she just does a and just sees the prey.
Yeah, and so in the future, this telescope found a planet called Lua 4, and there is a signs of life there, but it's so far away that by the time the researchers get to the planet, it's all dead. And we gotta figure out what happened.
Okay.
The whole surface of the planet is covered by water, and there are buildings underwater, and there will be a lot of lore and culture of that civilization, and even religion, and I think that will be a pretty good project.
Well, sounds great, honestly. Okay, so
Yeah.
guys, I mean, we are coming to the very time limit of our QA stream. So do you have any questions regarding the Beast Tower? I mean, the game, or maybe we have some questions in our chats.
No questions, but Alexander said that there are still ways to play Nosgood, so
Yeah, I mean,
or maybe he can
it's a very good comment.
tell.
It's a very good comment. And in order not to, create problems for some cool guys and very kind guys, I would just say that if you want to figure out if about Nosgood and talk to really dedicated fans of this franchise, just go to the Discord server and they will be really happy to help you out with any question. That's all what I can say in order not to say something wrong. I would say like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if
But
you
I bet this question is getting asked a lot.
Well, usually, yeah, but you see, most of the time we get the reaction like, "Oh my God, you're making Nazgûl. Thanks God you decided to do it. At least somebody heard my praise."
So I was actually talking about the question that I'm about to ask.
Mhm.
What is your estimated time of release? Even like, I'm not
Well,
talking about like
mhm.
serious date, just like this year or maybe next one.
Well, honestly speaking, I need to notice that the word release, it's really doesn't work nicely for a PvP game because it's more a
Well, let's
marketing
put
term.
it in different form.
Yeah.
When the game will go public.
Well, I can say that it's already public because if you follow our schedule of playtests, you can play it without any limits. You just need to be at the exact time, at the exact day, and download the demo and enter the server to join other players. That in this way we can say, okay, we're already maybe playable. So please go check BSOA and make up your mind about that. So if we talk about the day when we can say that, all right, we feel that we have enough content and we have prepared enough cool things for people to play the game 24/7, I would say that's kind of a tough questions to answer right now because of course we do have some dates in our team, some understanding about that, but it's a question which is under NDA protection. That's why I can't talk much about that. The only thing that you need to note is that we really want to, as fast as possible, to solve all the technical issues and give players a good opportunity to play the game whenever they work or whenever they want and whenever they have time for that. But in order to do that, apart from bringing the technical quality to the necessary level and the amount of content so that people get interested for a long time, also we need to build a big community so you always have people to play with. Building community is a quite hard task. It's also a big part of the actual development of the game like ours. That's why I would always say that community managers are actually the development team and not just the support. And it's really important for us to view this specials this way. And for example, Daria just spent quite time every day just answering questions, making posts, and telling people about the game and finding new platforms, new places where we can market the product and get more people know about us.
It is actually great that you're taking your time with the game and not releasing the half-done product
Well,
on
you
the
see,
market.
we really don't want to give people something raw done. And as we are indie team and we don't have any publisher investor pressure upon us, that means that we can allow us to stick more to quality rather than quantity. And yeah, of course, it's just time consuming and people just keep asking when. Well, the only answer I can give, guys, if you want to get a good game, you should be patient and you should be helping us with the feedback. And if you want to, to speed up things, just go to all our events, make reposts, likes to attract more audience. So we just be sure that as long as we push the release button, you would have enough players to play with anytime you wish. And of course, if you just want to help directly us with some financing, because it's never, well, it's a thing which I honestly admit that would help us out. You can join our Patreon and become our sponsor. just and choose the tier of support which is suitable for you, and it would be just really great if you can do it.
Yeah, I wish I could have money to do that.
Well, I totally understand that it's not an easy thing for people. That's why I always say that even if you can't do it, believe us, just by making reposts, by telling your friends about the game, following us in social media and pressing like button, it's not a kind of, you see, me playing around with you, but it's truth that it actually helps us because it brings more people, more attention, and help us to make a better game. That's a really important thing. That's why, guys, if you don't like every post of ours and don't make reposts, just start doing it because it would really just change the game for us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so guys, I think that we answered pretty all the questions which we had recently. So thank you for all those who are just being with us this evening, those who are watching us.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so once more, thank you for joining us in voice chat and just keep asking questions. It was really cool, and I hope that you learned something new. Just keep following us on social media. We will be always happy to answer all the questions and to just make changes to the format. Just let us know if you like or don't like how it's when we are talking with the community just online during the stream. Me personally, I really like talking to the community. That's why I'm voting for keeping this format on and on. And then, guys, just thank you again for being with us. And I will always say, the beast will come. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.